Uh, Welcome from the woods of awakening. I was guided today, still guided, always guided, but especially guided to move into the forest and to walk. And nearly as I began this journey today, I've came up with an interesting thought train, an interesting energy that I would observe and making my perception clear about it and how do I want to see it, because there was and is still something to alchemize, to transform. And I just had, not just, I had an interesting perception coming up, an interesting idea. And for the sake of rehearsing for myself and to deepen into this understanding and knowing, I make this video, but also to express myself and share my truth with the world and with you, and as an opportunity to share perception and experience and knowledge and presence, of course. So it started. It is very interesting, and I wonder if you feel that curiosity and too in this. So it was about the thought or the belief it's the same. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again. So the sentence, oh, what will they think about me if I do this or that? So it's about that, okay? The sentence came to my mind. Oh, what are the people thinking about me? And when I observe humanity and all the creators, and also myself, of course, I observe that this is a main fear of why people don't do what they don't want to do. No, why they don't do what they want to do, exactly. Because I can observe it for myself in my own journey, that there's always this sense of, oh, the others, or they, and the other person, what they think. So, first of all, in the last days I heard a video from Bob Proctor, and it was a kind of video where they mixed all of these snippets together from a variety of persons, you know. And there was one little sentence that Bob said, and he said, "I found out they don't," and it was attached to thinking. He spoke about that people fear what others think, and then he said, "I found out they don't." First of all, nobody knows who they actually are. Yes, you may be scared of what your family might say or some other persons, but who are they anyway? And then he said, they don't. And he mean they don't think. And this worked in me, and I asked myself, okay, it's getting interesting, because the perception is being built here on a very good fundament. So if we take the sentence or the fear or the belief, oh, what will others think of me? So this implies that the other person, whoever this person is, actually is thinking. Okay? And that's very interesting. So you only can fear what others think if they really think. So that brought to my awareness Okay, what is my definition of thinking? What does that mean? So then it got interesting, and I walked with that energy, and I wanted to know, you see, what my perception is, because how I choose my perception is the way I will perceive it in my life. So I'm grateful that I can share with you this perception right now. So if we care about what others think, it implies they must think. Alright, so what is thinking? And I personally think that we can think in two ways. I think that we consciously create thoughts. It's like reprogramming our mind. We do this with creating thoughts. We consciously choose what we think. I consciously say that I'm a divine being and that everything in my life is perfectly working out for me. I know what I do, every step takes me towards my desired destiny. These are thoughts, every word is a thought, okay? And we consciously create them, and you can tell to yourself in your head everything you want. It's only attached to your imagination. You can say everything to you in your head. So this is for me one way of thinking. It's consciously, really 100% consciously. That's important, not unconscious. Consciously. I consciously say, I choose this, I love myself, I love nature, life is good to me, whatever. And the second way we can think is we pick up on thoughts. It's maybe not really thinking, but there are thoughts floating around from society, from history, everything. So everything happens right here, right now in this moment. So there's a lot of data in this moment right now. Imagine that. So then, of course, you have thoughts floating around from other people, from paradigms, society, from culture, everything. Of course, you only attract some kind of those, not really. Let me say it in other words. You can pick up on them, and this doesn't mean that you are the frequency of them. So, yes, we are receivers. We receive thoughts. We create thoughts through our vibration. If we vibrate in a certain level, then we have certain thoughts connected to that level of consciousness and vibration. So the thing is, if we move with a higher vibration through a field that's more dense, and there are thoughts floating around, we will see them. We can observe them, and it's up to the amount of how aware you are, how conscious you are, how much broaden your focus is on energy and information instead of matter. So, but bring it a little bit back here. We pick up thoughts, and this means we are aware and we observe thoughts floating around, and we say consciously, oh, that's for me or not, I choose that or not. Okay, so yes, it's not really a way of thinking, but it has to do something with thought. So for myself, I'm cool with that, to give two ways of thinking. So, but let's look. If we fear what other people think, this implies that they think based on those two ways right now that I gave you. Is thinking only possible if you're conscious? If you're a being that is willing to stay observant, to be greater than body, environment and time, and that is into transformation, and that is into evolution. But this means that you don't have to worry what they think. They might think consciously, so they think, but they are beings on their journey, on the awakening path. They know what it means to be aware of thoughts, and if they catch themselves that they judge or do other negative things with their thoughts, then they catch themselves and they let go of that. So this means if we now take the second way, no, I lost it here. Okay, let me say that again. If we fear what other people think, this implies that they actually think. Okay, the definition of thinking is we consciously create thought. And if I consciously create thoughts, and if I'm truly conscious and present and in my center, and I'm doing the work, and I transform and I'm open to change, then my intention is for the greatest good. My intention is for my transformation, my intention is for a higher frequency that automatically raises everything around me. So, and even if there's a judgment, I see it and let it go. So there's no connection. It neutralizes itself, you know what I mean by that? So it makes no sense to actually worry about what they think, but when there is a person that thinks, they are conscious. And they're a deliberate creator, and they feel exactly in moments like you on your awakening journey. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know that voices in your head are just voices in your head. And everything else, and this is what Bob Proctor meant in this video that I saw, everything else is truly not thinking. He said they don't. And now it gets interesting, because if you listen to the study of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and from my own observation right now, I can say that by the time we are 35 years old, 95% of who we are is a set of programs, of unconscious programs, behaviors, feelings, emotions, thoughts that we are run by. We gave our free will away to those programs. So, and programming, even if it is thought, yes, programming is thought, energetically stored in the body, but it is not consciously. You know how it is when you're on your, if you're on your awakening journey, but that's not separate. If you are awakened, you are a master, like me. So, you know, as a master, you know that thinking it consciously, observing it, then you let it go. As long as you don't see it, that you have this negative thought, you don't even aware of it. You act like it, and then you observe this thought and you think, oh my God, I thought this way. Okay, no problem here. Now I'm conscious, now I can decide if I want to let it go or live by that, continue to live by that. So this is not thinking. This is being controlled by our programming, okay? So, and from my own experience, I know as long as you don't catch this thought and it's unconscious, you're just living it. You don't even know it until you do it and you catch yourself doing it. So it's not conscious, it's unconscious. So with that, I'm not consciously hurting anyone when I'm judging unconsciously, because I'm not seeing it, because actually it's my own self-talk. You see, it's my own self-talk. until the point this own self-talk comes to the surface and I hear it and I stop it, because I'm ultimately talking to myself. And when people say dumb things out of negativity and judgment and hate and all of that stuff, then they're talking to themselves. But it's not conscious thinking, it's programming. It's like a videotape. You press play and it's moving. So with that, I thought to myself, you see, if I really observe this fear of, oh my God, what do other people think, I now can remind myself of this perception that this implies that they have to think in the first place, and thinking is consciously. Thinking is consciously, thinking is reasoning, is creating, is taking our source energy and forming a thought, forming a picture, and consciously giving energy to it. Like you're consciously reinvesting your energy into a new life, into a new potential that you want. So this is thinking. And also being aware of everything that is around and choosing. This is thinking too. And everything else is unconscious programming, nothing to do with thinking. So it neutralizes itself. The sentence, I fear what other people think, neutralizes itself. Because it implies that this person thinks truly. Everything else is just a being that is hurting itself and is unconscious. To some degree, until it becomes conscious. That's everything. So, let that sink in. Let that simply sink in, because I think this makes it nonsensical to believe in that I have to fear this, because if what I do reaches someone that truly thinks, they will support it. They will say, well, let's go. That's cool. Well, simply meet me in a neutral state, you see. So with that, I'm done. It was a good talk. And I think you felt the way I wanted to go in this video. Nothing more to say. Isn't this journey amazing? I have moments where I just sit here and think, what is happening? It's like my consciousness is expanding the entire day, moment by moment. I get more and more and more, and surrender more and more and more. And this eternal moment seems to be so eternal, like it's never ending. And you feel this eternity in all of that. And sometimes when you rush into the ego mind and observe your human part, you just think, who am I? What is my life? And wow. Constantly checking if what I do is good enough. All of that stuff. Damn, in the last days I observed so much unworthiness. Unworthiness moving through my system, getting caught by consciousness, and I shine my light on unworthy actions and thoughts and behaviors and choices. Wow. It's big transformation happening. And I consciously think that I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And I think that you are doing good. Because we are always guided by ourselves. Next time you observe this thought, what other people think, my God, then you say, they don't. They don't. But if they think, they might be the next opportunity for you. Because for those people on the journey, for those on the field, for those who dare to express themselves, you are a light in the right moment by sharing your perspective, like I do in this moment. You see, I'm really at the point right now where I don't care. I say this to myself right now. I'm at the point where I say I don't care if anybody sees this video. I was so often in the past, in past moments, all the same moment, but from a different point of view. I was so close to make a new video, and every time there was this little, I don't know, what should I say and all of this stuff. And then I asked myself, what if nobody ever will see this video? Will I do it again? Will I do it anyway, this video? Will I do it anyway if nobody sees it ever? If I'm alone on the earth? Now it's some point where I feel, yes, I found a wonderful place here in the forest to make this video, and I know that I'm rehearsing and talking to myself and finally allowing myself to see myself and to be seen. I don't have to care about the who and what and when and how and all of that stuff. I just have to express myself and strengthen and anchoring my truth. You see. So with that, this was it from the Forest of Remembering. My name is Han. Let's remember together our ancient, powerful being. I see you.